everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the CM Heights. What we will do, we will discuss some important questions of the audit and especially of the audit in automated environment and SA700 series. In SA700 series, the 100, 701, 705, 706 and 710, right? So yes, firstly let's begin with the audit in automated environment, and here there are some chapters even of which the detailed revision lecture is being taken. The link I'll provide you in the description box, and the notes, or you can say the list of these important questions with my markings will be provided in my Telegram channel, and the link of the same will be provided in the description box. And if you like the video, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel for more such videos. Yes, so let's begin. Now, firstly what we will do, firstly we will read about the audit in automated environment chapter. Here it is the chapter number 6 of our syllabus, as we know very well. So first is about the meaning of the automated environment. Yes, so in meaning, we all answer of the first question is the meaning of the automated environment. There are in the business environment, some of the processes are taken through the computer system, which process, operations, accountings and decisions. Remember these 4 words, these 4 are the keywords. Process, operations, accountings and decision are taken through the computer system or information systems or information technology system. Yes, and in short we can remember it as a POD, POAD, process, operation, accountings and decisions. Yes, the second question is key features. What are the key features? Firstly we have to see that for that short form is LIC Flash. LIC Flash means what? The latest information, integration between the different business operations. C is connectivity and networking capability. F is enables the faster business processor. L is the ability to process large volume of the data. A is accuracy in the data processing. S is better security controls, and H is less prone to human errors. Again speaking, LIC Flash means what? Latest information, integration, connectivity and networking capability, enables the faster business process. L, large volume of the data. A, accuracy. S, security controls, and next is human errors, less prone of the human errors. Yes, next is the 3 relevance of the IT systems. Means what? This is the question in the exercise of the module regarding the three situation in which IT is the relevant. Comply with SA 315 and 330 for understanding, assessing and responding to the risk. Yes, next is, and the second one is that due to they are using these systems, means what? If there is any risk or uncertainty, then even it has the impact on the audit. And third point is that even they are using the controls which are dependent on IT, so the effectiveness and efficiency will be maintained, because in IT dependent control the consistency is maintained, and human controls there is not a consistency. Yes, next point, understanding of the automated environment. What is covered in that? Understanding of the automated environment. In this, the understanding regarding the following things. What? In the information systems, its purpose, its location, its architects, its interface within the systems, its version, whether it is in-house or it is packaged, or the outsourced activity, and the key persons regarding the information systems. All these things which are, it is not necessary that you remember all the 9 points. Out of the 9 points you can remember 6 to 7 points, so that you can produce 5 to 6 points in the exam, right? So yes, and the 9 points about this, what you have to do, then you have to make it the documentation as per the SA 230. Okay, yes. Next is the IT risk. What are the risks of the IT? First is there can be the loss of data. Second is necessary changes are not made, and the next is segregation of duties is not proper. And the next one is that direct data changes in there, or there is that is in the backend changes, and unauthorized changes in the data, unauthorized changes in the systems, privileged access, or you can say the excessive access. And the next is inaccurate processing of the data or processing the inaccurate data. Yes, and I'm just in this lecture I will just revise you all the points and not make you the understandings of that, because you know the concepts very well, right? And even if you want, then I have the chapter number 6 revision lecture also in my YouTube channel, in the audit playlist. You can find it in the description box. Yes, let's move further. Next is impact of IT risk. Yes, impact, we have 3 impact. Firstly is on the controls, second on substantive audit, and third one is the reporting. In control, what it is, we cannot rely on the IT dependent manual controls or automated controls, and for that we have to test the substantively and perform the more audit so that we can take the reliability. Next is on the substantive audit, as we cannot rely on the data, and so that's why we have to perform the more audit to give the proper report, and that's why the audit work is increased and more audit evidence is needed, because we had find already the defaults. So yes, to clarify or to make the justifiable report, we have to do the more audit. That's why more audit evidence is required, right? And then is reporting. What we have to do, firstly we have to talk with TCWG, that is those charged with governance and management. But if they are not able to respond us properly, then what we'll do, we will modify the report. Yes, about the modification of the report we will take the revision today only. Yes, next, moving further, in next question is activities regarding the program change. What it is means that in general controls, you know that general controls are applied on the 4 things, and out of that 4, one is the program change. And what are the activities carried out in the program change? We have activities in that. First is the we have to change process, then change is request and making the changes. Next is the changes which we are going to make is firstly test the changes, then apply the changes, and if there are some emergency and minor changes regarding that activities, what we have to do next is document all these things and provide the training to the users. Yes, it is very simple. Next question is testing methods. Generally there are the 4 types of methods for the testing, which are the inquiry, observation, inspection and re-performance. But in inquiry we cannot get the proper or correct answer. If you ask from the management that is your cash collecting process is perfect, they'll say you yes, it will not take effective but not efficient, because it not provide the correct audit evidence. And re-performance is effective, means if you are re-performing the transactions, and then you can get the proper or correct audit evidence, but it will take much time, so it is not the efficient audit method. Okay, next is, then which method we have to use? We have to use the inquiry along with the some other methods like observation, inspection, re-performance. If you had inquiry, then observe it whether it is correct or it is not correct, like this way. But inquiry in combination with inspection means what, you have to inquire and then inspect it whether it is correct or it is not correct, so that you have to see. By that you can get the most effective and efficient audit evidence, right? Yes, let's move further. Next, what question it is? It is that uses of the data analytics, right? Of the data analytics, the short form is cards fraud. What it is? First is we have to check the completeness of the data. Next, we have to collect the samples. Next, recomputation of the balances, re-performance of the mathematical calculation, analysis of the journal entries as per SA 240, fraud investigation, and any control deficiencies impacts, right? So as per the short form, I say you cards fraud means what? Check the completeness, analysis of the journal entries as per SA 240. Next is recomputation of the balance, re-performance of the mathematical calculation, deficiencies in the internal controls and its impact, and next is selection of the audit samples and fraud investigation, right? Yes, very easy. Next is framework of the testing internal financial control. What will be the answer in this? If first is risk assessment, then next is to understand and evaluate, then test for operating effectiveness, and then it's reporting. What is the risk assessment? In risk assessment, firstly we have to identify the significant accounts and disclosures, then qualitative and quantitative considerations, then we have to see the relevant financial statement assertion, next identify the likely sources of the misstatements, next consider the risk arising from the use of the IT system, next understand and evaluate. Understanding and evaluation of what? First is that document the understanding of the business process, then prepare the risk and control metrics, then understand the design of the controls, next the process wide considerations for entity level controls, Then next is IT general controls or application controls. What are they? Then we have to see the operative effectiveness. For that, firstly we have to assess the NTE of the controls. Next is the reliability of the data, test of the key reports, sample testing, consider the competence and independence of the staff or the team performing the control testing, right? Then reporting regarding what? Reporting regarding the evaluate and control deficiency. Next, significant deficiency is material weakness, remediation of the control weakness, internal control memo or management letter. Next is auditor's report. Yes, in this revision I am just make you to revise all the answers of these questions, so it becomes easy for you to revise the important questions along with my video. If it is possible for you, then you keep open your module, then you can get the benefit of these video lectures very easily. Yes, next question. There are some definitions, or you can say in the glossary section of your module, and regarding that, first is the information system. So what is the information system? Let's see that. In the information system, it is the collection of the hardware, software, network and process that are used in the business to carry out the operations and the transaction. The main three: material weakness. Material weakness means what? Material weakness is deficiency or the combination of the deficiency in internal control is important enough to merit the attention of TCWG, since there is a reasonable possibility that a material mistake will not be prevented or detected in a timely manner by the management. Material weakness is the mainly in the weakness in the controls, right? And that is the material in which it is necessary to draw the attention of TCWG. Yes, next is privileged access. Privileged access means what? The access in which you need for the doing your job, but you get is more than what you need. Yeah, right? You are the junior accountant and you need only the access of the journal entries, but you even get the access of the posting. That is the privileged access. In simple words, in the module words, we can say type of super user access to information system that enforces less or no limits on using that systems. Yes, and next is segregation of duties. It is one type of internal control which is implemented to prevent two or more conflicting functions. Means what? Journal entries, if it is being passed by the one person, then cash is being collected by the another person. That is the segregation of duties, to prevent two or more conflicting functions from being assigned to or being carried out by the same person. So it is given to two different persons, you can say. Then significant deficiency is same as the material weakness. You can read it out. And next is CAAT means what? It is one type of the audit tools used by the auditor. It is the short form of the computer assisted audit techniques, or you can say computer aided audit techniques, which are collection of the computer based tools and techniques that are used in an audit for analyzing the data in electronic form to obtain the evidence, right? Next is the data analytics. Data analytics means what? It is the combination of the process, tools and techniques which are used to tap the vast amount of electronic data. Means you have number of data, and out of that the meaningful data which you need for your organization, that is being taken out, right? Yes. So we are done with the important questions of the audit in an automated environment portion, and let's learn the important answers of the essay 700 series, right? And in that, firstly, what we will do, in the same way, I'll revise one by one each and every questions, and there are 14 questions in that, and along with that same you can keep your module open or any other book you have which you prefer for the reading. And in all these 700 series, the questions will be regarding the chapter number 11, that is audit report. Yes, with the essay 700 series, in that the first question is the objective and framing of the opinion. What is included in the answers of that? Means what are the objectives as per essay 700? Firstly, you have to form the opinion on the basis of the conclusions, and then that opinion which you had got, or you had arrived at the opinion, that you have to inform through, or you can communicate through written report. Remember it, written report, not the oral report. Yes. And the next is auditor shall form an opinion about on the whether the financial statements are prepared in all material respects. Means what? Financial statements are as per the correct FRF, and not a material misstatement is there, right? And to obtain the reasonable assurance regarding the same. Yes, and next is the conclusion will be on what? The conclusion will be based on the sufficient appropriate audit evidence which is being obtained. The audit evidence which we obtained, whether it is sufficient and appropriate, right? And whether there are uncorrected misstatements which are the material either individually or aggregatively, and the evaluations. Okay, there can be specific evaluations and in qualitative aspects also, right? So two things in objectives: to obtain the opinion, and next is to express it through the written report. And in regarding the framing opinion, we have to see the conclusions, and conclusions based on three things: SAI, that is sufficient and appropriate audit evidence, and uncorrected misstatements which should not be material as individually or aggregated, right? And the evaluations, right? Next is the true and fair view. We have to see that true and fair view means what? It is the opinion of the auditor which state that the financial statements in all the material aspects are true and fairly presented, right? And as per the applicable financial reporting framework. And what should be considered to whether that there are the financial statements true and fair? For that, you have to first see that the assets valuation should be proper, not undervalued or overvalued. Any asset should not be omitted, and if there is any charge, then it should be disclosed. We already know that there are charges on the assets, right? And no material liabilities should be omitted, and all the proper disclosures regarding the profit and loss and the balance sheets and the accounting policies should have been followed with the consistently. And if there are any unusual transactions or exceptional transactions, that should be disclosed separately, right? Next is you have to provide the unqualified opinion. For that unqualified opinion, you have to state that financial statements should be true and fair, and the accounting policies, if there is any changes, then you have to say that changes, and that should be proper reason to change, and that is applied consistently, right? And it is as per the FRF. For the unqualified opinions also indicates that financial statements are as per generally accepted accounting policies, right? Accounting principles. Then we have to comply with the different types of statutory requirements and regulations, and we have to provide the adequate disclosures about all the material items which we are asked to do about the in the AS, or you can say in any other accounting standard, accounting policies, right? Yes, the next question is the opinion section of the audit report. What should be covered in the opinion section of the audit report? Firstly, you have to state the entity of which you have taken out the audit. Then next we have to state that entity is the audited. We have to give the name of the each financial statements like P&L, balance sheet, cash flow statements, like that way. And even we have to refer the notes and the summary of the disclosures, and we have to further say the period of which it is covered. Like balance sheet is of 31st March 2021, and period covered in P&L is period at 31st March 2021, right? That's why you have to state the period, right? Next is the basis for the opinion, the opinion which you have given, and now the base of that base on which the opinion is dependent. In that you have to say that firstly the auditor who has taken out the audit is the independent. Next is audit is conducted as per the standards on auditing. Next you have to say the details regarding the auditor's responsibility. As we know, in the audited report there is one paragraph in which it is said the auditor responsibility section. You have to provide the reference of that paragraph, right? Next is to assure everyone that the statement that the auditor has obtained the SAI to provide the auditor's opinion, right? The evidence is sufficient and appropriate on the basis of which the opinion is given in the auditor's report, right? Yes. Next is management responsibility. Like auditor have responsibility of providing the proper view of the financial statements. Then management has also responsibilities. you have to write the briefing out the points which I told you in this answer, but mainly I'll give you the 4 main keywords of this. Then you have to write it in some detailed answer, or even you can write the words of the module if so, but you cannot able to write the same words of the module, then you can write the words which I gave you, right? First is if you have to report on the compliance framework, then management's responsibility is that to prepare the financial statements as per financial reporting framework, and if you have the fair representation framework, then the management responsibility is of the preparation and fair presentation, right? Not only the preparation but also present it fairly financial statements, right? Yes, the next one is about the internal controls. We know that it is the responsibility of the management, and the next of the management is whether the entity is going concern or not, regarding all its assessment, and if it is not, then its proper accounting. And in the last we have to provide the names even who are the responsibilities, that is the names of the managers or TCWG's names that you can describe in your auditor report, right? Yes, the next is qualitative aspects. I told you in first question only, their conclusions based on the evaluations, and evaluations can be qualitative and specific, both are covered here. Qualitative and specific, both the questions will go hand in hand, that's why I had covered here together only, right? After these 2 questions we are left out only with the 6 questions of this. Then we had completed our 700 series and audit in automated environment important questions revisions. Yes, so the qualitative aspects in that, firstly you have to communicate to SA 260 about the qualitative aspects of the accounting principles, and to the TCWG and management if there is any lack of the neutrality and if there is any uncorrected misstatements, like that way. So in short you can say that you have to remember the first point is SA 260, right? Next is we have to see that about the lack of neutrality, we have to see the 2 points, whether there is any selective correction, means what, if there is regarding the high earnings and that misstatement is not being corrected by the management, then you have to see that, and if there is any biasness in the accounting estimates by the management. Then the third point is the biasness about the accounting estimates is covered in SA 540, right? Yes. Next is specific evaluations. For specific evaluations you have this shortcut to remember, that is step doctor. Doctor means DR, STEPDR, right? You can write even in your module or from wherever you are learning this keyword, right? First is the significant accounting policies, and next is terminologies used in the financial statements. Next is the accounting estimates by the management should be reasonable, and accounting policies selected and applied are consistent, and the adequate disclosures also to be made. And the next one is the relevant, reliable, comparable and understandable information. Step doctor, right? Yes. And if you are even want to revise it, you can backward and revise it once again, right? So next is KAM, that is key audit matter is not the substitute of. There are following things about which we had given clearly in our module, or you can say in our SA 701, that key audit matter is not the substitute of the following 4 things. What is? Firstly, that financial reporting framework means what? That if something is required by FRF and you are not following, by saying that you had written in key audit matter, that is not proper. It is not a substitute of financial reporting framework, not a substitute of the modification of the report as per SA 705, not a substitute of reporting as per SA 570, that is going concern, and not a substitute of the separate opinion on the individual matters. Yes, very easy. Next is objectives of SA 705. What is SA 705? SA 705 is the modification of the audit report. In that, firstly, objective is to express the modified opinion of the financial statements when, firstly, the financial statements are not free from the material misstatements, and the second one is you are not able to obtain the sufficient and appropriate audit evidence that financial statements are not free from the material misstatement, right? And next is the types of modification. In types of modification, first you have to see that if the financial statements are material misstatement, or we are not able to obtain the SAI, and we are thinking that financial financial statement will be material misstatement, right? And next is about the judgment of the pervasiveness, means what, whether it is related to the full financial statements or any of the part of the financial statements. If the material misstatement we had find it, we have the side that there is material misstatement, and but it is not relating to the full financial statement, that means that is not pervasive, then you have to give the qualified opinion. But it is, we have to obtain the side that it is material but it is pervasive, means what, it affects all the significant transactions, or you can say the full financial statements, then you have to give the adverse opinion. Now you are not able to obtain the side that whether there is material misstatement or not, but you are, as per your judgment, there is material misstatement, and but it is not a pervasive, so you have to give the qualified report. And you have not able to obtain the side, but you feel that there is a material misstatement and which is pervasive, so you have to give the disclaimer of the opinion, right? Yes, very easy. Adverse and qualified basis upon the what I explained you, that in adverse psi is obtained that it is material but pervasive, and qualified obtained psi is obtained it is material but it is not pervasive, right? Or you can say in qualified obtained psi is not obtained, there is material, as per your judgment material misstatement is there but not pervasive, right? Next is, and the next question is regarding the brief note on emphasis of the matter paragraph. In that what you have to cover, I'm seeing about that. In emphasis of matter paragraph, it is the matter which is already disclosed in the financial statements, but as per the auditor it is of that much importance that the users require much attention, so that matter is even displayed in the auditor report along with the financial statements, right? And even the condition is for this EOM paragraph is that you should not able to modify the report. Your opinion is unqualified, but due to that EOM matter your opinion will be unmodified, or you can say the qualified adverse, like that way you cannot change your opinion through this, and that is not a key audit matter, right? Only it is the important matter, not a key audit matter, and not the relating to the modification of the audit report, right? Next is how you have to give the content. In the content, firstly you have to give the separate heading of emphasis of the matter paragraph, and then you have to give the reference that where it is located in the financial statements, and that is only information to the users, and it should not relating to the modification. You have to include this thing in a paragraph. Three contents: heading, its reference, and it is the only information and not the relating to the modification, right? Now the one last answer of this essay 700 series, and we are done with this series. Yes. Next is about the comparative and corresponding information. Firstly, there are two types of information regarding the prior periods. First is the corresponding figures, and another one is the comparative figures. What is the difference between them? So firstly I say you the definition, right? In the corresponding figures, the opinion in audit report which you have to provide is regarding the current year only and not of the prior periods also. Like the way in financial statement you are given the data of 1920 and 2021, so you have to just report on the 2021, not 1920. But in comparative financial statements you have to give the report of 1920 and 2021, and even if there are any other previous year data, then you have to report on all the data, right? The same is of the definition also, I told you. And yeah, the audit procedures. What are the audit procedures? You can say cover that financial reporting framework is the appropriate in the comparative information for all disclosed, and which is disclosed that is correct. You have to see that thing, okay? And another one is that disclosures should be correct, and accounting policies which are applied in the previous year's data, or you can say previous year the financial statements, should be consistent. If there are any changes, the reason for the changes, and the consistently applying of that changes. These the two procedures which I said you have to take care in the comparative information only regarding the previous years, and in corresponding figures you do not have to report only on the previous year, so you need not to take care of the audit procedures also. Yes, so we are done with the important questions of essay number 700 and audit in automated environment. The provide you in my Telegram channel, and if you love the video, please don't forget to like it, subscribe it, and share with your friends. Yes, thank you. Bye bye.